I'm David Higdon, Global Head of Esports Communications at Riot Games, and I'll be your host throughout the show as we head to Iceland for a look ahead at the League of Legends Mid-Season Invitational and the VALORANT Champions Tour Masters event. We'll also highlight some exciting esports announcements from Teamfight Tactics and Wild Rift, hear from our league pros as they answer your questions, and shine the spotlight on our global partners. After a hiatus in 2020, MSI is finally back. It's our mid-year battleground for the competitive League of Legends community, and with each of the teams that have qualified through their region's spring split, we're about to see the pinnacle of league competition these next few weeks. This year, we also had the unique opportunity to bring VALORANT esports to the international stage for the first LAN event of the sport's history. Masters Reykjavik is our Stage 2 Masters event of the VALORANT Champions Tour, and it is the path to qualification for the first global tournament, VALORANT Champions, set for December 2021. We'll hear more about it later in the preview. But first, I want to introduce and welcome Naz Al-Ataha, Head of Global Esports Partnerships and Business Development at Riot Games. Tell us, Naz, what can we look forward to from our partners at both MSI and VALORANT Champions Tour Masters?
Well, like us, our partners are very excited for the start of international competition across both sports. Year after year, our partners really show up for our sport and our community, and they continue to raise the bar for what great looks like and how our fans engage with them and in helping us to level up how we operate. Our partners make the esports experience better. So yes, needless to say, you'll see them activating in a number of ways across both MSI and Masters Reykjavik. Technology is at the core of our sport, so I'll start with our tech partners. Verizon is the latest partner who expanded their support of our esports. So in addition to all the innovative work they've been doing with the LCS and Wild Rift, Verizon is also now the official 5G and wireless network service partner for both our global esports. And you'll see them featured in a number of ways across both MSI and Masters. Cisco will again power the networks supporting MSI in Iceland and our production centers in Berlin and here in Los Angeles. And not only will they be powering the games played on stage, but for the very first time, the pro teams at MSI are going to be able to practice from the comfort of their own hotel rooms on the exact same high-performance servers, thanks to Cisco. So being able to practice at 0 ping should make for some incredible gameplay at MSI. And like Worlds last year, MSI will leverage Riot's global network to limit the amount of staff traveling during the pandemic. It's one of the many reasons why Cisco is such an important partner for our show production. They provide a stable network to ensure a best-in-class experience for our players and allow our team to produce a high-quality event that really pushes the boundaries of AR, XR, and mixed reality technologies from anywhere we're producing the show in the world.
Nice to have those high-tech partners supporting our efforts. What else should we expect from our partners in Iceland?
Well, the exciting part is that the list is long. I'll pick just a few examples of what our fans can expect. As part of our partnership with Spotify, we're launching MSI team anthems within the official League of Legends playlist, with each of the 11 qualifying teams selecting one song that really embodies the spirit of their team and their journey and rise throughout the spring split. Their selection will also come with special commentary on the song by pros and regional personalities through Spotify's Clips feature. It's the perfect way to get in the MSI state of mind. We're also excited to announce a new podcast that will be available exclusively on Spotify that will cover trending LoL esports news from around the world. The episodes will be hosted by some of our community's favorite personalities and will drop weekly throughout the year. And we'll have more information to share about that podcast in the coming weeks. MasterCard is returning as the presenting partner of our show Open at the MSI Finals. Not only that, MasterCard will also open up their social channels so that fans can ask questions directly to on-air talent who will answer them during the MSI broadcast. Mercedes-Benz is back for our very first MSI together. They're lending us their expertise in luxury and excellence for our trophy ceremony and all the pro player transportation on the ground in Iceland. And as part of that, you'll get to see the newest model within their EQ collection, the EQS, right there on site in Reykjavik. They're also bringing back the Hextech Chess Quiz, where fans can win Mercedes-Benz Hextech Chess by proving their League of Legends esports know-how. So brush up on that trivia. That's just a handful of examples, and you'll see a lot more from State Farm, Bose, Secret Lab, Oppo, Axe, and Red Bull.
Now a question from the media. With the success we've been seeing bringing on non-endemic partners like Spotify and Mercedes-Benz to LoL Esports, are you looking to identify more brands such as those for not only LoL Esports, but Valorant Esports as well?
Well, we are really proud of the partnerships that we've formed across the board for LoL Esports, both globally, regionally, endemic and non-endemic. Our partners help us to really expand the reach and resonance of our sports. They help us to achieve operational efficiencies, and most importantly, they elevate the fan experience. And that's been the lens that we assess our partnerships through. It has to be a win-win-win, where not only our partners and Riot benefit, but our fans do as well. We are and will continue to bring that partnership strategy to Valorant and future esports. And I'm very hopeful that current and prospective partners can look at our track record with League of Legends and know that we will bring the same level of commitment to innovating, to building a thriving ecosystem, and to delivering to fans across the world as we develop new esports. And it's been really encouraging and validating to see LoL Esports partners like Verizon and Red Bull and Secret Lab recognize that and expand their support beyond LoL Esports and into the VCT. It's a testament to the future growth potential of Riot's esports and frankly, the quality bar and the reach and engagement that brands can expect by partnering with us.
All right, question number 2. With Valorant as the newest esport within the Riot Games portfolio, how do you replicate the success we've had in building strong brand partnerships while still allowing Valorant to create its own unique portfolio of partners?
Well, we are humbled to have an enviable roster of partners across LoL Esports, and we will always welcome the opportunity to deepen our relationship with those partners as we expand our esports portfolio. And we recognize, though, that League and Valorant are two distinct brands with distinct audiences. In fact, the majority of players playing Valorant are playing a Riot game for the very first time. So the partners coming in and working with us across both esports, they're really able to maximize their reach across the esports industry. That said, we remain very cognizant of balancing multi-esports partnerships with those that are uniquely League and pay tribute to the elite sports meets fantasy League of Legends esports brand, and those that uniquely reflect the VCT and can do justice to the style and swagger of Valorant. And speaking of, we are very excited to welcome our newest partner to the VCT. HyperX joins us as the official keyboard and mouse partner of the Valorant Champions Tour, and we couldn't be more thrilled to welcome them and have their amazing products supporting our event in Reykjavik and beyond. So welcome HyperX, and a big thank you to all of our partners for being so tireless in wanting to deliver to our fans. We are really looking forward to some amazing events together in Iceland.
Well, that's certainly fantastic news for us and for the players who are using that equipment. We're certainly looking forward to more new partnerships across Riot Esports that will continue to grow our portfolio of sports to our global audience. Thanks for joining us today, Naz, and congratulations on being named to this year's class of the Sports Business Journal 40 under 40. You asked, our pros answered. Dash is standing by in Iceland with the superstar from our reigning champion, Hyo Showmaker Sue, mid laner for Damwon Kia from the LCK. Hello Dash and Showmaker. How's Iceland treating you so far?
Thank you very much, everyone. Lucky to be joined here by Showmaker ahead of the group stages here at MSI in Reykjavik, Iceland. And we have Max standing off camera to help us with some translations as well. Showmaker, First and foremost, I want to talk to you about arriving at Iceland as the defending world champions from 2020, but continuing that kind of success into 2021. What has the preparation for the team looked like to get here to MSI and ultimately to defend your title at Worlds again this year?
네, 그냥 저희가 실수가 많이 나왔던 부분들을 많이 고치려고 노력했고, 네, 그렇게 잘해서 또 MSI에 올 수 있게 되었고, 네, 앞으로도 그렇게 잘해야 할 것 같아요.
So we amended a lot of the problems that we had before, and that worked out for us to make it to MSI this year. And that's how we're going to proceed with MSI this year to win again.
Well, upon winning the LCK finals, you had mentioned that one of the teams you might be excited to play against was G2, if they happen to make it. Unfortunately, they fell just short in their regional finals. But in their stead, Perks will still be returning to the stage just under the Cloud9 banner. Do you have any words specifically for Perks ahead of that matchup?
뭐 G2가 못 와가지고 되게 아쉽긴 하지만 그래도 이제 전 G2 멤버였던 퍽즈 선수가 왔기 때문에 퍽즈 선수라도 제가 꼭 이겨야 할 것 같네요.
So I'm a little disappointed that G2 didn't make it this year, but Perks from last year's G2 is here, and I feel like it's my job to defeat him this year.
All right, well, I look forward to that matchup myself, and we'll get to see that right away in the group stages. As opposed to G2 showing up for the LEC, it will be Mad Lions, which is kind of, again, a new era in the LEC. Do you have any opinions on Mad Lions as a team and your matchup against Humanoid in the mid lane?
LEC는 원래 예전부터 이제 프나틱과 G2가 되게 거의 네, 그 두 팀만 거의 1등하고 우승하고 그런 걸 반복했었는데 이번에 이제 매드 라이온즈가 올라온 걸 보고 되게 잘하는 팀이라고 생각했고 네, 그 팀의 이제 미드라인은 이제 휴머노이드 선수가 되게 약간 제 생각에 이제 팀의 에이스라고 생각했기 때문에 네, 빨리 만나보고 싶어요.
So from what I remember, it was always Fnatic and G2 winning LEC, but the fact that Mad Lions is here now means that they're a great team already. And even out of Mad Lion, I think Humanoid is the ace of the team. So I really want to meet him.
Well, he'll have to test his mettle against the likes of you in the mid lane. Outside of talking about some of the specific matchups, I am curious as well. You had an arm injury earlier this year and were hospitalized for it at the very least. How was the recovery, and are you feeling 100% here coming into the tournament?
뭐 제포 오른팔이 좀 아프긴 했었는데 그래도 약 잘 먹어서 네, 괜찮습니다. 네, 괜찮아요.
So yeah, I had a bit of an injury on my right arm, but I've been taking my medications and now I'm feeling very fine.
Well, we wish you the best of health in that regard. Another thing that I think people are always curious about is, which team is going to be the next team that kind of strikes an era or a dynasty of their own. Most people referencing the SKT era. Do you think Damwon is going to be the team that is the next to do it?
일단 아직까지는 좀 약간 좀 이른 것 같고 좀 더 열심히 노력해서 네, 꼭 이길 수 있도록 네, 항상 열심히 하고 초심 잃지 않도록 하겠습니다.
I think it's a bit early for me to say that we've made the dynasty yet, but we'll keep trying and we hope to be making it our dynasty soon.
Well, that's fair enough. I think I speak for most when I say you look like the team to beat, and we're excited to see you guys step back onto the international stage. Showmaker, again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I'm going to let you go and link up with the rest of the team, but we look forward to your games in this coming group stage. From here, though, we're going to head back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that. Now, I'd like to introduce John Needham, Global Head of Esports at Riot Games. Hey, John. Glad to have MSI back, I assume.
Am I, David? Thank you. Yes, I'm so excited to be here on the eve of our 6th MSI event. After a year without this event, it really makes me happy to see this coming together. I'd like to thank every single member of our team who made this happen, and for the city of Reykjavik for being so supportive of the requirements needed to make the event a reality. And as always, thank you to our fans who have been with us through it all.
Now let's get to some of your questions. How can Riot help grow the professional scene?
You know, MSI is an event we produce to give all 12 regional leagues in the LoL esports an opportunity to compete with the best teams in the world. There are very few sports with the international reach of LoL esports, and we think this is a great advantage of our sport. So we're going to invest to further deepen and broaden our appeal to local audiences, and then couple this local focus with great international competitions. This is where we see big opportunities to continue to grow our great sport.
The universe of Riot Games has been expanding more and more with new games. Does Riot intend to take all games to the competitive scene at the level and grandeur that League of Legends is at?
That's a great question. We're going to approach each esport differently to meet the needs of each game's unique player base. But one thing will remain consistent, being the best in class in our broadcasts and events. We've set a really high bar for quality and innovation. That's what our fans expect, and that's what we're going to deliver with every professional esport. Clearly, we have high aspirations for VALORANT, and that esport's off to a great start with the VALORANT Champions Tour. We also think Wild Rift has tremendous potential as a dominant player in mobile esports, but it's still early days there. We're also pleased with the competitions and events we've done for TFT and Legends of Runeterra. I wouldn't call TFT and Legends of Runeterra competitions professional esports in the sense of LoL esports, but we always want to support a higher level of competition for the hardcore players in all Riot games. And these organized play events give that experience.
Next question. What went into the process for choosing Iceland as the MSI location this year? And what kind of changes, if any, should the fans expect out of LAN events moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, mostly we're working in tandem with our risk management consultancy, Marsh & McClellan. First and foremost, they conducted an exhaustive global analysis and search that provided us more than a dozen potential locations. Reykjavik was chosen after thorough due diligence with a focus on COVID management and protocols, operational viability, and travel logistics. Iceland was far and away the strongest partner from a COVID management standpoint, and their government and health authorities have been very supportive in helping us to operationalize the event with the highest health and safety standards as a priority. Beyond safety protocols, we're very excited to bring major esports events to a brand new market. Obviously, Iceland provides a fantastical landscape that'll be a great backdrop to both League of Legends and VALORANT.
So specifically to the event, why did Riot settle on the 3-team quadruple round robin format for Group A at MSI? What other options were considered?
I mean, we had this issue at Worlds last year as well, where just unfortunately we couldn't get the BCS team through all the travel protocols to compete this year. So we landed on this format to give our fans a similar amount of gameplay to watch across all of the regions.
Next question. Do you think that the newer esports titles from Riot Games are going to have a similar impact as League of Legends?
Yeah, I mean, we're really audacious. At Riot, our goal is always to lead the market and innovate with every esport we invest in. Each of our esports have seen incredible growth and fan support, so I think we're going to have great impact. We always aim to make our fans, our world-class sponsors, and our professional teams proud to be associated with Riot Esports. I think we've done a great job of this with LoL Esports, and VALORANT's also off to a really great start.
MSI and EU Masters, for example, are a way for players and teams to represent their regions. But we've seen a lot of hype around the Asian Games in 2018, and most recently, the France-Spain match a few weeks ago. Does Riot have any plans for any international competitions where teams represent their countries, like a LoL World Cup?
Well, you're pulling on my heartstrings. Love World Cup. I love EU Masters when I was in Europe. Really awesome. And that France-Spain match was super cool a few weeks ago. You know, we're always looking for new ways to engage our fans and our pro players. And while League of Legends World Cup would translate really well around the world, making room in our crowded LoL esports schedule is super challenging. So it's a great idea. We talk about it a lot, and it's certainly something we want to do in some form in the future, but we don't have any real hard plans to discuss today.
Thanks, John. All of us at Riot Games are super excited about the fan reception to Wild Rift across the globe so far. I've been playing for the past few weeks now, and it's an incredible mobile experience. If you haven't had a chance to check out the game, I highly recommend trying it on your phone or tablet. Works on both Android and Apple devices. I'm excited to now introduce Leo Faria, the global head of Wild Rift Esports at Riot Games. Thanks for joining us, Leo.
Hello, yeah, happy to be here.
And it's so great to finally get started with Wild Rift Esports. We've already started some regional competitions to get the sport off the ground, but mostly right now, Leo and I are learning and getting ready for Season 1 launch in 2022.
Leo, tell us about how things are going.
Of course, I'm happy to. As John mentioned, we're really taking this year to learn and develop the foundations of the sport. We're very excited by the first regional competitions that happened earlier this year. In particular, we were so thrilled to see the success of our very first official tournament, the Southeast Asia Icon Series preseason, that kicked off Wild Rift Esports in 8 markets across Southeast Asia. It took place in February and March, and we saw a very promising start to the sport in the region. It's been amazing and very encouraging to see the reception of fans so far, and we're even more excited to announce that all of our other regions will kick off their esports tournaments for Wild Rift this summer, starting as early as June.
Wow, that's all right.
Nice.
But that's not all right, John.
I get the big announcement, correct. I'm thrilled to announce today that to top off 2021 for Wild Rift Esports, regional teams will qualify for our first ever Wild Rift Global Tournament. While we haven't nailed down all the specifics, Leo's working on that, Riot's committed to a global Wild Rift Esports event in the 4th quarter of this year. Leo's going to bring you a lot more info very soon.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And on that exciting news, let's take a look at some of the Wild Rift questions that have come in. So we'll start with you, Leo. What are Riot Games' plans for regional Wild Rift championships?
Right. Look, as we mentioned early, many of our regions will be kicking off their competition starting this June, and we're currently working on the calendar of events. We have seen a great number of organizations around the world already announcing their Wild Rift teams. In Southeast Asia, for example, we had organizations like the Alliance, RRQ, and even the LoL Esports veterans Flash Wolves announcing their esports teams. And as we announce and kick off competitions around the world, we expect to see some of the biggest names in esports also announcing their Wild Rift esports teams. Each regional competition will take shape differently, really varying from standalone tournaments to circuits, but we're really committed to making Wild Rift a global sport and build very strong ecosystems around the world.
Excellent. So while we're thinking big and global, what sort of local community esports events support is actually planned for Wild Rift?
Right. So hey, we've been overwhelmed by the appetite and interest of the community for esports. We have seen hundreds of community tournaments taking place around the world, and in the next month, we'll be publishing third-party tournaments guidelines that will offer both guidance and support for independent organizers. We really believe that community tournaments are a great way to make the sport accessible, especially because Wild Rift has such a low barrier to entry. For an ecosystem that is new like ours, creating opportunities for new stars to emerge is a big priority, and we want to make sure we are investing to creating those opportunities.
I'll have John answer this next question. What are your expectations for Wild Rift as an esport?
Always high expectation. So, look, with League of Legends going into its 11th year as a global sport, players have now come to expect a certain level of competition within our esports scenes. So we want to make sure we get this right, build something that's worthy of the mobile gaming esports community. So while we continue to develop what the competitive structure and calendar is going to look like, we're also creating a viewing experience that will ensure the sport is accessible to anyone, anytime, anywhere. We really believe that mobile gaming will help transform the future of esports. For us, this is about learning from our 10 years of experience on LoL esports, while also learning what makes the mobile community special, creating a sport that is unique and exciting to watch for Wild Rift players.
Thank you for that, John, and thanks for joining us, Leo.
Thank you.
We're excited to watch Wild Rift Esports develop over the next few months and years. I hear Dash is standing by in Iceland. with one of our youngest League of Legends pros, Karzi, ADC for Mad Lions of the LEC. Hello, you two. Thanks for joining us for Media Preview Day and taking the time to answer the media's questions.
Thank you very much. Happy to be joined here by Karzi. Karzi, how you doing, man?
Yo, what's up? I'm doing great. Scrims are going great.
That's what I like to hear right off the bat. Here at MSI in Reykjavik, Iceland. I want to talk to you first, though, about Worlds last year in 2020 and how ultimately it went for Mad Lions. Unfortunately, you guys didn't quite make it through the play-ins. So what is different this time around with 2021 Mad Lions, and why is the performance here going to be different?
So the biggest difference is definitely the roster changes and also the motivation within the team. Also the team atmosphere changed a lot, and we have a lot more motivation because we see now that we can make great things together.
I mean, we talk about great things. I think a lot of people think about the kind of the end of the dynasty that we just saw happen in the regional playoffs, the domestic playoffs for you guys in EU. Now, with that, you come to EU come to MSI as the sole representative for EU, and that's a little different than with World Championship, where you've got 3 representatives typically. So, do you feel like there's any extra responsibility on your shoulders this time around to show up and bring it home?
To be honest, for us there is no pressure. We came to this tournament to have fun, and we don't really care even if we lose.
Okay.
Like, we just want to improve as much as possible and have as much fun as possible.
Now, within that, there's some interesting matchups that you have ahead of you. If I look specifically at the group stages, I'm thinking about BRTT down there in the bot lane, one of the best-known AD carries from the Southern Hemisphere. What do you think specifically about that matchup?
I mean, I'm kind of excited to play against BRTT. I've seen him play when I was younger, when I wasn't playing League competitively. And I was watching a lot of pro players, and BRTT was one of the better ones back then. So I'm excited to play against him.
You think there's any chance he brings out the Draven, or no chance in this meta?
And I think he can bring out the Draven, but I don't think that champ is that useful, so.
Okay, fair enough. How about outside of the group stages, like once we get to knockouts again and you start looking at the rest of the regions, any specific AD carry matchups that you're really excited for?
I'd like to play against Zwen and Ghost and Gala.
Okay, all right, looking at a player from my region, I feel it, all right. Well, and formerly from your region. Lastly, I just want to ask you, what kind of a statement maybe are you personally or the team looking to make here at MSI as you step back onto the international stage?
Well, we want to prove the world that we are not the old Mad Lions that got stomped at Worlds 2020. And we just want to show everyone that we have the potential to be the best team in the world.
Best team in the world, that's what I like to hear. Confidence coming into the tournament at the very least. Well, again, Karzi, thank you so much for taking the time. I don't want to keep you too long. Let you get back to the squad. Let you guys get back to those scrims that you're talking about. And I'll see you on stage in just a couple days. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. From here, we're heading back to the studio.
Thanks, Karzi. Good luck during the tournament. Joining me now to talk about teamfight tactics and Valorant is Riot's Senior Director of Esports, Waylon Rosal.
Hey, David. Great to be
Hey, Waylon. Glad to have you. Teamfight Tactics is our take on the auto battler genre. It's almost 2 years old. It's wild how quickly time flies. Wasn't 2019 just a year ago?
It's felt like a long time. It feels just like yesterday that we were announcing the Galaxy Showcase, and here we are wrapping up our second global championship. I mean, those early show matches really helped us into the larger events like the TFT Fates Championship, where 24 players from around the world competed for $250,000. The event was an awesome showcase of different regional playstyles colliding together. We're also seeing a variety of regions battling for dominance. Jaywalking from Korea walked away as the winner in Fates, earning Korea their first international title for the game. We're committed to growing TFT esports around the world. And for the first time today, we can exclusively share that the next global championship will be a live event in China. Participating TFT players will travel to compete together live in October, and we'll be revealing additional details as we get closer to the event.
All right. Wow, it's exciting to know TFT players will have their first live competition in 2021. Fall is going to be jam-packed with the Reckoning Championship, League of Legends Worlds, and the recently announced Legends of Runeterra World Championship, which will kick off in September.
Yep.
Now let's talk about Valorant. In the year since its launch, Valorant has become the fastest growing esport in the world. On May 20th, Iceland will play host to the first international tournament for the title, bringing 10 of the best teams from around the world together. Well done, Waylon.
Thanks, David. I appreciate the kind words, but really it's a testament to the passion and grit of the entire team that's dedicated to making this event happen, despite the challenges any event faces these days. Masters Reykjavik is shaping up nicely, and we're excited to continue to break new ground in Iceland. In the run-up to the tournament, more than 2,000 teams from around the world participated in qualifying events, the most of any VALORANT event to date.
So after all that, who's going to be left standing on May 30th?
Your guess is as good as mine, but after, I think, 2 stages of Challengers, Masters 1, and First Strike, I think all of us can't wait to see which team will raise the VALORANT Masters trophy for the very first time. And speaking of trophies, I'm honored to reveal the new Masters trophy. Very excited to share it with the media today.
That's nice.
Yeah, we like it. Shout out to the design team who put a lot of love and care into making a trophy fit into the VALORANT universe. Reykjavik will also feature the debut of coaching slots, which will allow team coaches to watch their players' viewpoints during official matches. While coaches will only be able to communicate with players at designated times, we're excited to take this step to introduce new tools that will improve player performance and increase the level of competition.
That's great. Coaches always provide great value to our esports and specifically to our media. Super cool to see them share center stage with the players, as we see in traditional sports such as the NBA and FIFA and the like. We're seeing VALORANT grow on many fronts, both through the work of our partners and through the expansion of new programs. What can you share about the work being done on that front?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, VALORANT esports continues to grow globally, and our partners are helping us build new competitive opportunities for players around the world. For example, Game Changers tournaments are continuing to roll out, with events taking place in North America, Brazil, and Latin America so far. These tournaments provide competitive opportunities and exposure for women interested in pursuing a career in VALORANT. Viewership and participation for Game Changers events continues to grow, setting new benchmarks for women's tournaments. In partnership with Verizon, we're going to continue expanding the program during the course of the year. Red Bull Campus Clutch, VALORANT's collegiate competition, is deep in the qualifying rounds for their championship. More than 20,000 students around the world have participated thus far. And the finals in July will be a great event to watch while VCT Stage 3 is heating up. And we announced earlier today that HyperX is joining us as the official keyboard and mouse partner of the VALORANT Champions Tour. We're looking forward to all the great things that we'll do together.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how deep the VALORANT competitive ecosystem is after just 1 year. Before we head into questions, I believe you had one more piece of news to share with the media here.
Yeah, absolutely. While delivering Masters Reykjavik is absolutely our primary focus, our team has been busy preparing for the remaining events in 2021 as well. I'm excited to share a quick look at where the VCT will be headed to next.
It's not just about flashy aim, it's about decision making, it's about positioning, and it's about this, I can't even call it an ace, I don't know what we call it. This is...
Starting May 17th and lasting throughout the month of June, join Riot and the LGBT+ community in celebrating Pride Month. Inclusive games mean a better experience for everyone, and while we can't march in person this year, we can certainly celebrate in-game. All of our games, including League and VALORANT, will have Pride content such as emotes, player cards, and more. A live blog post with more information can be found at riotgames.com on May 17th. And that's a wrap for the Riot Games Esports Media Preview event. Thank you all for attending and submitting your questions. All materials covered in this event, relevant digital assets, and the VOD of this event will be available on lulesportsmedia.com shortly. Be on the lookout for an invitation to RSVP and also join us for our virtual Riot Games MSI Media Day on May 20th, where the top 4 teams from MSI will be available to answer your questions and discuss the competition prior to the semifinals on May 21st and 22nd, and the final on May 23rd. Don't forget to tune in to the start of MSI tomorrow, May 6th. See you then.